Welcome, and thank you for joining me today for the orientation of the Texas A&M Commerce School of Social Work Advanced Generalist Practicum for Field. I'm so excited that you have selected our program and that you're going to be entering your field practicum this semester. Field practicum is one of the most vital learning experiences you will have in the program. Council on Social Work Education identifies this as the signature pedagogy. And what that means is that's kind of where the rubber meets the road. That's where we take everything we've learned in the classroom and we put it out there into actual practice and begin developing that practice experience that's based on the knowledge and skills and abilities that we have developed from the classroom setting. So let's get started. First, I want to introduce you to the two people who will be your primary contacts throughout your field practicum. First of all, Mr. Brian Brumley is the Director of Field Education. This is his email address and his phone number. He's going to be a primary contact for you all the way from application through completion. Miss Vicki Anderson works in our main office, and she's also a field coordinator, and she can be reached at this email address and this phone number, and she too will be able to answer your questions and direct you in the area, in the place that you need to go for whatever issue you might be having. When we talk about the objectives of the field practicum, these are things that we want students to be able to gain as they're in their field practicum experiences. And first of all, we're going to want some facilitation and integration of classroom theory into agency-based practice. How does those theories that you learn in the classroom, how are they put into actual practice in a real-world setting? That's one of the objectives of the field practicum experience. Our field practicum experience is also crafted so that it prepares you to apply a generalist, advanced generalist model in a real-world setting. We are an advanced generalist program, and what that means is we don't have necessarily a direct practice track, but students are going to have exposure to micro, macro, meso, all the levels of social work practice, and then be able to take the knowledge and skills and experiences that you gain through our program and apply those at pretty much any level of practice you're interested in. So that's what the Advanced Generalist Practice model is. Therefore, our program is designed to give you this experience. Your learning plan is designed to give you this experience. That's one of the major objectives that we have for our field practicum. Your experience in the agency is going to help you learn to utilize critical thinking skills in applying that advanced generalist practice model in various settings or context of practice. And that, again, that means that you're not going to be in one narrow area of practice, but you're going to have exposure, and we're going to require that you have exposure to the variety of contexts no matter what practicum or practice setting that you're in. We're going to look for you to be able to develop skills to synthesize knowledge and theories that underlie social work practice within your practicum setting. And what this means is that we want you to be able to take the knowledge and the abilities that you're learning in the classroom and be able to organize these in a manner that's meaningful in whatever context or practice situation you're in, and come up with your own perspectives of how these work within these agencies. That's what synthesizing means. It's where you take a whole bunch of little parts and put it together to make a new whole. And that's what we want you to do, is take all of those little components that you're learning in the classroom and put those together to make a whole and create a picture of what it is like to work in the setting using this knowledge and of the theories that you've gained. And specifically, we're going to want you to learn to be able to apply those theories and knowledge from the classroom in that supervised advanced generalist practice scenario. Again, we don't have an area of concentration that's specific to any one population. You may primarily be working with families or victims of domestic violence, but we're going to open you up to the whole context, that whole practice scenario, and we're going to want to see that you apply those theories within that advanced generalist practice scenario. Your field practicum allows you to demonstrate practice skills in an advanced generalist practitioner across multiple intervention levels. So this field experience that you're gaining is going to expand those practice skills for you, and it's going to be across multiple intervention levels like I've mentioned previously. So you're actually going to be able to demonstrate those, and we're going to expect that by the end of your field practicum experience, you're demonstrating these practice skills at a competency level, and that's what we assess you on, and your field instructor assesses you on using the learning plan. We're going to also expect that you're actually able to take some of the research techniques that you learn in the classroom and apply those in your agency setting for the purposes of program and practice evaluation. This is a primary component for social work so that we can evaluate what we're doing with clients to make sure that we are making a positive difference and to be able to demonstrate that what we're doing is making a difference. So this emerges from Council on Social Work Education. It emerges from our ethical standards, but we're going to want to see that you're able to do that. So you're going to have opportunities within your field practicum to engage in this level of practice also. You're going to have an opportunity and you're going to be exposed to working with clients of very diverse populations, and you're going to gain skills in being able to work with these clients from these very diverse populations. And we're not talking specifically about racial, ethnic origin, or we're talking about the gamut. We're talking about different socioeconomic classes. We're talking about different education levels, different family lifestyles. We're talking about the whole exposure here, allowing you the opportunity in a field practicum to be exposed to the diverse client populations that we work with, provides you with an opportunity to really develop skills for that effective practice. And when you get your MSW and you earn your license, then you will have this foundation to build upon. We want you to, and we do expect that you'll demonstrate professional behavior that reflects the core social work values and ethics. At times, ethics and values can be a gray area for us. So in your field practicum, you're actually able to be exposed to some of those controversial instances and be able to gain supervision and learn how to work through those processes. Again, within your field setting, we're going to be expecting you to demonstrate the professional behavior, core social work values and ethics, and learning more about that. All of these objectives together, plus many more, are going to create that opportunity so that you'll be able to demonstrate competency as an advanced generalist practitioner. Ultimately, that's what we need you to achieve so that when you are awarded your degree that you work so hard to earn, we know that you're going to be competent as an entry-level, master's level prepared social worker. You'll be prepared to obtain your license and begin practice and growing from there. The structure of the field practicum involves clock hours. An MSW student will need to earn 640 clock hours in their field practicum to be successful. Ours is set up so that you will actually enroll in a Social Work 554 course each semester. It's set up to happen across 3 semesters. The long semesters, which are fall and spring, the expectation is you will complete a minimum of 240 clock hours in each of those semesters. Over the course of the summer, you will complete 160 clock hours. This is the total of 640 clock hours. If in any individual semester you are not able to successfully complete those clock hours, you will have to repeat the entire semester. If for any reason you earn more than 240 clock hours, that's going to be attributed to additional experience for you. You cannot carry over clock hours from one semester to the next. So you have to complete the minimum required clock hours within your setting in the semester that you're enrolled. Otherwise, you cannot be successful in that course and you will have to repeat it. In addition to earning the clock hours, which are the actual hours when you're in an agency setting, a field seminar is held each week in an online environment that helps you process through the information that took place in your field internship agency and discuss issues. This may be synchronous or asynchronous in the online setting. We pretty much leave that up to the field liaison, but you will have to check in the online setting every week and engage in some aspect of a discussion. This reflects your semester credit hours that you will earn. So when you enroll in Social Work 554, you're earning 3 semester credit hours. You have to have a total of 9 semester credit hours in field to complete your degree. Again, this requires that you enroll in Social Work 554 across 3 semesters, and you complete the clock hours. In addition to the field seminar and being in the agency completing those clock hours, you may also be enrolled in other courses. If you're going full-time, then you will probably be enrolled in 3 other content courses in addition to your seminar and in addition to being in your field agency. We understand this is a heavy load, and it's your choice if you want to go full-time and do this all at once. All of your faculty have done this. Counselor and Social Work Education does require that to teach in a social work program, you have a minimum of a master's degree and at least 2 years post-practice, post-MSW experience, which means we've been where you are, and we do understand and empathize. We know it can be tough. So if you're choosing to go full-time, this is what you can expect. In rare instances, there can be a block field placement. So this means there's a modified semester block placement. Usually this is at the agency's request. The VA, hospitals, school districts sometimes require this, judicial districts, Child Protective Services, or the Department of Family and Protective Services often require block field placements. If you're in a block field placement, you will complete all of your 640 hours either in 1 or 2 semesters. Again, these options are limited, but these are available and required in some settings. At times, students request to complete their field practicum at their place of employment because they're already employed in some form of a social service setting. First of all, we strongly encourage students to complete a field practicum at a different site other than their place of employment. Sometimes you feel that it's more convenient to be able to do it there. Sometimes you feel like this is where I want to work and this is where I'm going to stay, so why not just enhance my experience here? What we want is we want you to take this opportunity to be exposed to different environments. We want you to take this opportunity as being able to grow in different directions. Also, if you do your practicum at your place of employment, there can be a double jeopardy there. If for some reason you are dismissed from your field practicum because of some action that you took while in that, it can compromise your employment. Flip side, if you're dismissed from your employment for whatever reason, it can compromise your field practicum. So you're kind of putting all your eggs in one basket here if you're wanting to do this. We do have students that accomplish this successfully. We do have students that have experienced exactly what I've described, and one has compromised the other. So think very hard about being able to do or wanting to do practicum at your place of employment. However, if you want to do that, there is a process to go through. In these rare instances, you first must submit a petition to complete your field practicum at place of employment along with your field application. Once this petition has been submitted, it's going to have to be established that field task and expectations and the supervisor for your field practicum will differ from paid employment tasks, expectations, and the supervisor. So you're also going to have to be within an agency that's large enough to offer you a totally separate experience from your paid work experience. The focus of your field practicum must be educational and reflect learning opportunities in all of the social work required competencies. If you're doing it at your place of employment, we still have to meet this criteria for you to have a successful field practicum. If you still want to pursue this, once you've submitted your field application and your petition for employment for doing your field at place of employment, along with the other required information, all the materials will be reviewed by the field committee. And the field committee will make a recommendation to the director of the field education. The director of field education has the ultimate discrepancy to grant or deny approval of doing your field practicum at the place of employment. Okay, so now let's talk about the forms that you're going to be completing while you're in your field practicum. Initially, within the first 2 weeks, you're going to complete a learning plan. Your learning plan is located within TK20, and we're going to talk about TK20 in a minute, but the learning plan is located within TK20. Within the first 2 weeks of your field practicum, you're going to sit down with your field instructor at the agency, and you're going to come up with the tasks that you're going to need to complete that semester that are going to reflect the competencies that are outlined in the learning plan. The next semester, you're going to complete a new learning plan with new tasks that reflect new competencies that you didn't accomplish in the first semester, and the third semester will follow the same pattern. You're not expected to accomplish all competencies in your first semester. This is designed to be a fluid document that changes with each semester, with the ultimate goal that by the time you graduate, you've actually had experience in all of those competency areas. So your learning plan is the first thing that you need to complete. It is your map through that field practicum for each semester. You'll also be completing timesheets. Now, the timesheets are the one piece of hard copy paperwork that you're going to complete. You're going to download the timesheets. Each week, you're going to input your hours on this form. You're going to describe the activities that you did, and you're going to have your field instructor at the agency sign off on that. Then you're going to upload that into TK20. This is the documentation that you are completing the required hours, doing the required task to meet the guidelines for your field practicum. If you do not have your timesheets in there, you will not get credit for those hours. You want to also make sure each week you're adding correctly. You don't want to come up at the end of the semester, and when those sheets are added up, you're 5-10 hours short, and you don't get credit for the semester. Remember, you have to complete all the required hours within that semester. So your timesheets are very important. We encourage you to do these on a weekly basis, upload them so your faculty field liaison who teaches in the seminar part can monitor those for you and make sure you're on track. You'll also have the student evaluation. You'll have a final evaluation, and this is included in part of that learning plan. There's a place there for your field instructor at the agency to evaluate each of the tasks that you're completing each semester and award you a level of being proficient to being below expectations. Basically, it's from 1 to 5. So your student evaluation is in that. And then you'll also complete an MSW evaluation of your practicum before you graduate. This provides us with important information as to how well that practicum setting met the learning objectives for you, and helps inform us for future students. Within your field seminar, within your field practicum, that Social Work 550 course that you enroll in and earn 3 semester credit hours for, we use a letter grade system to determine your success within your field practicum. Within our letter grade system, you can earn an A or a B. Anything below a B, you have to repeat the course. We consider that not passing. A C is not going to damage your GPA as much as an F, but for us, in all practical purposes, a C is failing your field practicum. So you have to be awarded and have earned an A or a B within Social Work 554 to have successfully completed that semester's field practicum. Your faculty field liaison, which is your actual faculty person, again, who teaches your 554 seminar, will have the final decision on awarding the grade that you have earned. And this is based on the learning plan, the evaluation, and direct input from your field instructor. Your field instructor is the individual who is at the agency that is supervising you there. Also, anytime field instructors determine that there's difficulties in the field, that there's problems with you getting your hours, there's conflict, whatever that may be, we require that they get in touch with your faculty field liaison as soon as possible so that there can be some intervention to make sure that changes happen so that you can be successful in your field practicum. So your field instructor and your field faculty liaison will be talking throughout the semester. Doesn't necessarily mean there's problems, but there's going to be touching bases just to make sure things are going well. Okay, so let's get started. How do you start the process of applying for your field practicum site? First of all, if you have not already done so, you have to purchase TK20 software and create a student account. You're going to receive other instructions on this. It's also located on our website. This is the URL for it. It's https:// it's tamucsw.tk20.com. This is very important because teacher education, teacher certification also uses TK20. In each semester, we have students that go into the wrong link and purchase the wrong one. We want to make sure you purchase the social work TK20. Each of these are built individually for the program, so if you purchase the wrong one, it doesn't work for us. Make sure when you click on that link, it's going to say social work. You're going to go in there, you're going to set up your student account after you purchase it. This is kind of like a book fee. And so when you register that student account, then you're going to be able to complete your field application. The field application process is done through TK20. As you're completing that application, we want you to be as thorough and honest in your answers as you can possibly be, because this is the information that Mr. Brumley uses to help locate appropriate practicum sites for you. You have to do this first before you can be considered to be placed in an agency. Once you've purchased TK20, once you've set up your student account, once you've completed the application and it's been received by the Director of Field Education, he will be in touch with you and he will begin the process to locate a field placement site for you. Throughout this process, you'll receive some information from him, but don't get anxious. On your end, you need to have ensured that your application is completed and has been submitted. These are the two components that are on your end to control. And so I said, don't get anxious once you know that you've done that, because the process of placing students is time consuming and may involve identifying placements for up to 70 to 100 students who are entering field for the first time. As long as you've done your end, there won't be any problems on our end. Like I said, just don't get overly anxious if you haven't heard anything. If you haven't heard anything in a couple of weeks or haven't received information as to when you can expect contact with Mr. Brumley, you can reach out to him again through his email or his phone. But once you've submitted your application, give him a little time to work on it, because again, he's our only Director of Field Education and he places everybody, and it can be pretty time consuming. So just don't panic as long as you've ensured that you've done what you need to do on your end. So any questions that you have and you need answers for, you can actually again reach out to Mr. Brumley or to Miss Vicki Anderson, who's also on the beginning of this PowerPoint presentation. And we want to thank you so much for choosing our program and for participating in our field education program. We're so excited about the upcoming semester and we wish you the best.